So as you can probably guess from the title, um, I'm gonna try and announce, like I did last time with the reality check video, I guess, that I'm probably gonna try and take a break from streaming. I know that's kind of silly because I just started and I haven't really done anything that stressful, except for that one time I embarrassed myself. But that was when I was trying to quit anyway. So anyway, point being is that like I did consider doing part five or I guess part six today. I guess it depends on whether I'm going to relabel them or not. Because the very first part four I did, I already crossed out. But the second one I did, honestly, wasn't that good either. And I think the video I made last time, part five, was actually a much better explanation and honestly could take the place of part four. So, in a sense, I could relabel them if I wanted to, make it as smooth as possible an experience for first time viewers or like put them in a playlist or something, but that's beside the point. But the point is that like I've talked about whether or not I really want to be doing these live streams, whether or not I want to do a blog instead, a bunch of other things. There's so many possibilities. There's also the possibility of just making videos directly for the channel, like actually, well, like directly like videos that are intended for YouTube with scripts and everything, maybe animated videos, for example, or just videos that are, well, anyway, the point being is there's too many ideas. I have a lot of ideas, but like not, I'm just stressed out and I'm not feeling it at the moment. The point of this was to make me feel better and solve problems, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not been completely pointless, not been fruitless. I've learned a lot, or at least I feel like I have. At the very least, I gave it a go. I'm happy about that. I got the whiteboard, I got the camera set up, I got a tripod. Um, it's still lagging a little. I moved my bed. It's just I got the whiteboard. I think I already mentioned that. I set up in the room. I made a lot of. I I spent a lot of mental energy trying to figure out exactly like how to set things out and much ado for nothing. In a sense, you might say if you wanted to be um, a bit too pessimistic about it. But the point being is that I I'm not feeling it. I'm not, and maybe part of that is uncertainty. I'm not sure where this will go. I'm not sure if I'm going to get out of this what I want to get out of it. I'm not sure what the future will hold. So I don't know. Am I streaming? I am. I am. If it's the right decision to make or not. I also, there's a lot of different things. I think, I have a choice. It's the beginning of the year. Um, there's always the option of like, well, why not spend 6 months doing it? Why not say, okay, I'm gonna commit to this for 6 months, and I could, and maybe I will. At some point, maybe I will. Maybe next week you'll see me go back on all of this and restart again, even though that's kind of a stupid thing to do. But even though it's kind of annoying to be a wishy-washy, to be a flip-flopper like that, yeah. But the reality is I'm trying to figure myself out. I'm trying to figure out what to do with how things have ended up for me. And there's more to all of that than just obviously YouTube and stuff. There's a whole load of stories, some of which are personal, that don't make sense to anyone but me, really, except for maybe what I said on screen. And some of which are more, personal, as in like not really can't really talk about them on YouTube or wouldn't be a good idea, family stuff. Like you guys don't need to know about my family situation at the moment and stuff, do you? Not really. Anyway, the point being is that I just don't think I have it in me at the moment. It's kind of weird because I don't have an audience. I don't have many people watching, so there really isn't much pressure on me. But I'm just not one of those. I put a lot of pressure on my. I'm not one of those people that like feels a sense of anonymity on the internet. I actually feel more vulnerable on the internet. It's a public place. It's the most public place in the world, actually. Anything I put in here on YouTube, anyone in the entire world can see it. And there's sort of a pressure in all social media. It's kind of funny because I don't have other social media. I don't use Twitter. I've never used Twitter. I've never used Facebook except for a fake account I made to so I could eat at Hungry Jack's. Actually, it was originally for the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed thing, but because they had a integration with Uplay way back in the day, but that's a story for another time. Anyway, the point being is I don't really use social media other than YouTube. And I don't really consider YouTube to be social media in the same way as many other sites. I mean, it is, by all accounts, it is. But, I guess what I'm trying to say is, sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I'll do my best. I'll do my best to um, not be too all over the place. Let's start again. Let me just check if anyone's watching. Sometimes you find people watching you suddenly and you're like, what the heck? Where did that come from? No, no one's watching. That's fine. Alright, let's go from the beginning. Anyway, what the heck was I talking about? What was I even talking about? Alright, let's start again. Alright, what I'm trying to say is, think about YouTube is. There you go. I have a more up to date. Um, thing about social media and putting yourself on there is that you feel compelled to present a good version of yourself and of your projects and your ideas, and at the same time you want to be authentic. It's actually really hard to do that. Like for some people the idea of branding themselves or whatever comes pretty quickly or naturally, or maybe it's not natural, but it's something that comes out once they're in the right environment. I don't know, but like, let me start again. The point is that like I wanted to, the problem is it's one thing to just make a bunch of cool projects and then be like, oh, that's so cool. How do I show them off? It's another thing to then want to make them into a YouTube channel and all that. And it's not like I don't have ideas for like good video or for like, but yeah, but the okay, one second. You have to understand. When I was a kid and I came up with all this stuff, let me say again. I don't even know how to explain it. That's part of the problem. These thoughts are too tangled, and I thought that doing this series would help, but it hasn't really helped as much as I thought it would. It certainly helped a little. I feel a bit more confident now. I feel like I've put some effort in. I have a bit more energy, like momentum, to try things out. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that like a long time ago, I ended up doing. The reason I wanted to, I need to take some time off for myself, which is a bit silly again because I just started this. What I mean is, I need to take some time to try and make projects for myself again, and make. I need to take the time to try and make projects for myself because the problem is that it's something that I haven't done much in a while, and it's what I used to enjoy about these projects was doing them, making them, learning, and then and then having the urge to show other people. The problem was I didn't know how to do that last part. I didn't know how to do it like properly. There are like cheap ways of doing it, which you just show people, and maybe that's all it works. Maybe that's what I should have done, but it was too scary to me. It was too. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want it to be. I didn't want to do it wrong. I wanted to do it in a good way, and I wanted to. I was inspired by other people I saw who made YouTube videos, and I wanted to make cool YouTube videos, and I wanted to grow a channel, and I wanted to do all this and that stuff. And that's before you even get started talking about like the idea of making a living off of it through advertising or Patreon or whatever. We don't even need to get into that. That's a whole nother can of worms that, on the one hand, it's like, yeah, if you're gonna do this, it doesn't hurt to learn a little about how to do that. But on the other hand, it can be very distracting and it can be very stressful, especially if you really are just trying to do this out of passion, you know, and it can be conflicting too. But then it can also give you these grandiose ideas of like, I want to do this, 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 this. Uh, well, you can have those even if you don't, even if you're not trying to monetize it, I guess. But like, let me start again. Give me a second. Let me start again. Forget it. Just give me 10 seconds. Let me go back. All right, let's start again. What I guess I'm trying to say is that, like, in the meantime, since then, I have come up with good ideas for videos that could be more self contained. And so part of me is considering maybe instead of doing live streams like this, I just skip straight ahead to those. Like, make a well produced, well animated video. And obviously, it would still be my first time doing it, so I would still be, learning on the spot, and I would need to put in some time and effort to try and get it to work. But and I don't have like it's not like I have too much experience with it, but I have a rough idea. I have a good idea of what I'd like to do and how I'd like to do it. And so I think I could make a pretty good product. The reason I didn't start with that is because I kind of had this idea that my channel would start in this specific way, and then I would get all these introductory projects out of the way from way back when, and then I could finally start making maybe more better content. And some of that would involve different types of videos and different types of projects. Some would be based on the project. Some would be, some would be, because there's projects that are made for videos, and then there are videos that are made for projects, right? And what I'm trying to do here with these live streams are essentially videos or live streams for projects. I want to show off a project that I've done, or I want to do a tutorial, but I'm trying to do a lot of different things at once, maybe too much at once. I'm trying to simultaneously show off a personal project and also make a tutorial and also explain several principles. And I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying that the live streams don't work. I'm not saying that the idea itself doesn't work, but it just in my head it's such a mess. It's such a compromise of all of the original idea. It's so tangled up and stressful and confusing, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Whereas I had this idea for a video about, just as an example, there are other ideas I've had for much more self-contained videos. Some of them would be longer than others, but they would be animated, and any projects or programming I did would be in service of the video, for example. So, for example, I had this idea for a video explaining the tilt of the Earth and how the tilt of the Earth leads to the seasons, from a mathematical perspective. And we would go through some derivations and try and figure out what is the tilt of the Earth as it goes around the sun at different times of the year, and as a function of its of position of its angle, its position around the sun, as well as its tilt angle. And it turns out you end up with like a cosine of a cosine, or a cosine of an arc cosine. I can't quite remember exactly, but it was something cool and interesting that I thought was interesting. But to do that, I have to actually write that video and write that script, and then I start thinking, I'm overthinking. I'm like, oh, okay, if I start my channel like that, what does it imply about my channel? What comes after? What comes next? And the answer is, I don't know. There are a lot of things I want to do with this channel. Another thing is that last year, 3 Blue, 1 Brown, not last year, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 3 Blue, 1 Brown hosted a competition. And honestly, that's what got me off my bum to actually try and, well, I was in a bit, I was in a worse funk back then. I was still, but anyway, the point being is, that's what got me to buy the whiteboard and everything. But it took me too long. I took too long to write the script, and so on the actual day of the 3 Blue, 1 Brown competition, I didn't have time. I wasn't able to record. I wasn't able to record myself in front of the whiteboard. The idea was that, because originally I didn't have an idea and I wasn't planning on entering, or I thought about entering, but I was being wishy-washy about it and I didn't really feel like entering. But at some point I was like, wow, I might have actually discovered something interesting. So I came up with a video idea specifically tailored towards being part of the competition. I did some things that, like I specifically took on advice to like hook the audience in the beginning, etc., etc. And I wrote a script based on that. And I still have that script and I can still write it. And depending on whether I actually ended up solving an unsolved problem or not, that script might be more that it might that video might is it might be more than just a simple. It might actually be pretty important because that script contains a proof, or essentially the outline of a proof for what could be a new theory and not theory, or a new theorem, to prove it. And since then, I've come up with a simpler version based on those ideas because I wrote the script and everything. And then afterwards, I was thinking about it and I was like, actually, thinking about it, there's a much easier way of describing it. But, the point of the video was not just to do that, it was also to introduce people to knot theory and stuff. It's a pretty long script. There are 3 sections, and only one of those, or 2 of those, only 2 of them are the actual proof, or maybe only one of them. I'm not really sure. Can't recall. Let's see if anyone is listening to this nonsense. No. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I could sit here, I could try and write out an equation for the bouncy balls, for the particle simulation, how they collide off of each other, and all that. But I don't think I have it in me. Like, because the point is that, like, when you have like a brand or whatever, personal brand or whatever, or it's like you have these 2 contradictory things. You want to show the best version of yourself, but you also want to be authentic, or at least I do. And that's actually really difficult, especially if you try and hold yourself to a high standard. I remember talking about someone recently talking about all this, and I told it's hard. You hold it, and they said no, they don't. They don't hold YouTubers to a high standard. And I was like, I guess with all that, I can see where he's coming from because of all the controversies, but like, that's exactly what I don't want to be. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, yeah, okay, but if you hold, I guess not. I guess it's not hard to be a YouTuber if you don't hold yourself to it. But like, if you hold yourself to a high standard, yeah, like you don't. I don't know how to explain it. Sorry, let me start again. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, let me start. Let me start again. Point is, like, for me, it's really I don't really know what I'm doing, and maybe I have a clear idea now, but now I have this sort of like choice, or I have a series of choices. I have better ideas for more recent videos. Like, For example, the one about the Earth going and how the Earth's tilt causes the seasons. Or I have a video about quaternions that I've wanted to make for a long time. A lot of these more recent ideas are sort of more self-contained video ideas potentially, but that's just part of the. But then there's also the idea of all these projects I want to do, and then there's these ideas for other things, and then there's completely different stuff like singing or video essays about certain topics. And those video essays are very wildly. Some of them are opinions, and some of them just like I don't know. This is a cool show I watched as a kid, or like here's some random stuff that you might not have heard of. You ever heard of Round the Twist? It's a weird show from Australia. You haven't heard of it? Here, let me talk to you about it. It's funny. It's weird. You know, like stuff like that. Like just a wide variety of stuff. And it's like, how does it all fit together? I don't know. Because the thing is, like, I'm a person, yeah, and I have various different interests. Yes, I have some things that I care a lot about more, but like I'm a complete person. I have lots of different interests. But on the internet, or like, but on social media, or at least YouTube, at least it wants you to have a specific niche. Once you have people coming in for the same thing day in, day out, again and again. No, it's not necessarily an issue. That's why I decided to start with, programming and stuff so I could have one thing. But it's like, there's just so much going on. There's just too much to think. I'm not built for this. At least not now. At least not now. I just don't have it in me. Like, there's some things that come more easy to me than other things. Some things and I thought this is something I've wanted to do. I thought I could teach myself the skills. I could build up the knowledge, and maybe I can, but like it's just too much for me. It's too scary. It's too stressful. There's a pit I have to leap into, and I can't do it. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to put myself out there. The fact that I'm talking to you guys right now and saying stuff like this, quite frankly, in itself is a bit, you know, of is kind of a it's kind of amazing in and of itself. So yeah, I definitely come. I've definitely made some progress in the sense that I can do this. But you can see I can't even look the camera in the eye. It's too stressful. It's too confusing. I'm too embarrassed. I'm too scared. And I can't. And my throat is closing up, and I'm having trouble talking. You know, getting really anxious and scared. Much more than before, honestly, because I'm not prepared. And I think that therein lies the issue. On the one hand, I had all these ideas, I had all this stuff I wanted to share with the world, but on the other hand, I I don't have it in me to like actually do that. I don't think, or at least not right now. Like I'm just too embarrassed. I think too much about well, you know, I'm trying to like project into the future. Like, okay, right now maybe I can talk about these projects, but then what about more complicated projects? When I start talking about robotics and stuff, I'm just I don't really want to talk about it because if I talk about it, then sorry, let me start again. Just give me a second. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I'm gonna try and take some time off to try and think about things, and I need some time to think. I need some time to relax. I need some time on my own, and I'm gonna try and take some time off to try and work on stuff for myself again. Try and rekindle that and see how it goes from there. Maybe that'll make me more confident or happy or whatever. Maybe that'll make me more. What is that again? Maybe that will make me more confident again. I don't know. But I just. I don't think I can keep this up for the moment. Like, think about it. The sun is up. It's quiet. That's all. That's what I wanted. That's what I thought I wanted. Everyone's quiet. I can do a live stream in the middle of the day at 2 o'clock. I should be on top of the world. I should be um, able to relax. I'm just too camera shy, I guess. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. Maybe it's some type of weird selective mutism, but for internet. But for being on the internet, I don't know. Or maybe it's a bunch of other stuff that I don't really fucking. I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. But at least I've gotten some stuff off my chest. You know, that was part of the point of this series was to talk, and I've done that. I've done part of that. It's not perfect, you know. Maybe it would be more clear if it was written down or whatever. But I'm trying to be as honest as I can be with you. Um, you know, and I'm as honest as I can be with you talking on camera. You know, and even then, it's like I still feel, you know, reserved. Like I can't really. Sorry, just give me a second. There was some loud noises outside. Or it's an annoying bird or in a car or something. I don't know, man. Give me a second. Mr. What says hi at 2 no 4:22 16:20 2 minutes ago. Yeah. I don't know, Mr. What. Okay. Well, anyway, as I was saying, I guess I'll check on Mr. What in a second. I think I'm gonna try and take a break so I can focus on making projects for myself again, and then I'm not saying I'll never come back to YouTube or I'll never make another YouTube video again, or I'll never put stuff on the internet, or I'll never make a blog post or whatever. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll try something else. Who knows? But I think for the time being, I just need some time to like think to myself and like just some time to think to myself and recalibrate. I've learned a lot, or I've learned a bit being on trying to do these live streams. Mr. What is gone, I think. Anyway, and yeah, I mean, I don't really know how else to say it. Like, I'm trying to express my thoughts, but I don't really know how. I'm kind of freezing up, you know, internally, inside. So I'm gonna just hope that you get the gist of it, of what I'm trying to say, which is, I'm sorry there won't be. Sorry, just what I mean to say is that I'm gonna try and take some time to just not care about, or not care about, no, just not worry about the internet, not worry about putting stuff on the internet, or doing things for other people, or trying to make videos for YouTube, or trying to make, or maybe make videos for YouTube, but not try. Let me start again. I'm gonna try. I'm not. Forget it. Let me start again. I'm just gonna spend some. I'm going to just try and forget about this. Forget about the series. Forget about this and that. Forget about trying to make like. Forget about trying to like make projects to share, and forget about trying to share No, let me start again. Let me start again. Start again. Start again. What I meant to say is, I just want. I'm gonna spend some time just relaxing and trying to figure things out for myself. Working on projects for myself, working on myself, working on improving myself. Just try and relax and figure things out, improve my mental health, Because I thought this would, but I don't think it is. I think it's too stressful to be properly. Well, hang on. Someone is joined again. They haven't said anything, but someone is watching. You know the rogue traders? Probably don't. Maybe they do. I don't know if the rogue traders are international. They have the song, I see you, watching me, watching you. Oh shit, am I gonna get copyright struck for that? I don't even know. Doesn't matter, I'm not making any money off this anyway. No, they don't care. That's alright. Anyway, so someone is watching in silence. Anyway, point being, look, I'm doing my best to try and explain what I mean, but obviously I'm not doing a very good job at the moment. Just can't get the words to come out of my mouth properly, or I guess I'm too unsure, or I'm too worried about saying it wrong that. So I'm just gonna hope that people get the gist of it and move on, I guess. Right. This will take 10 seconds. Just give me a second. Just doing some OCD. There's a part of me that's like, should I even have these videos? Should I just put them down? But it's like, I don't know. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't really matter, man. What you gonna do? Really, I'm just trying to give myself permission to just relax and work on some projects that I haven't worked on for a long time at all, because I've been putting them off. Because I've been like, I can't work on this because I have to save it. I have to save it for YouTube, or, I have to save it for the channel. And then there are other projects which, like, I've done ages ago, but I'm still thinking about, or I'm still trying to do them because I'm like, no, I got to do them for the channel, like this one, the particle simulation. And again, I'm not saying I'll never do it. I'm just saying I just don't forget it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like you guys can read between the lines and figure it out from here. Alrighty then. So, honestly, that's it for now. Give me 10 seconds. Let me start again. Just give me 10 seconds. Alright, let me start again. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm taking a break. And so you probably won't see any videos from me for a while. And so that'll be it for the time being. I'll maybe see you again another time. Maybe another time. Maybe I'm not saying I'll never post a video again, but for the time being, probably won't see any videos from me in the near future. I'm taking a bit of a hiatus. Alright, that's not right. That's not right. That's not exactly what. Let me start again. Give me one more. Give me another go. Give me a second. Sorry. More OCD coming. Just give me 10 secs. Oh, God, this sucks. I don't know how I'm going to end this properly. Give me a second. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream. The point is, you know what the point is. I'm gonna just forget about it. Just forget about it. Let me start again. Just give me 10 seconds. Just forget about it. Just forget about it. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Alright, just, yep, that's it. Forget about it. Alright, I guess, let me start again. Well, the point I'm trying to say is, I'm going to be taking a break from the live streaming. So, that's it. Oh, sorry. You know what? Never mind. Forget about it. Give me a sec. Let me try again. Let me start again. Oh, God. Oh, this is so difficult. Why do I have to make this so hard on myself? Okay, so the point is, you get the point. The point is, you get the gist. So I'm just gonna assume you understand what I'm trying to say. You get the gist. Moving on. Good night. We're ending the stream. Nope, that was almost perfect. It's very embarrassing. Right. So that'll be it for the moment. I'm going to stop streaming now. Sorry about all that. You know what? Just forget about it. Forget everything I said. Forget everything I just said. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Just forget about it. Just forget about it. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. All good? All good. Okay, I'm going to give 30 seconds to stop the stream because sometimes it takes some time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good enough. 3,